Hello, today we are talking about 10 dumb money mistakes, and these are really dumb mistakes, but I pretty much don't know anyone who hasn't made these mistakes. So if you've made these mistakes, don't be too hard on yourself. But really, a lot of these are things that if you would just correct, you would stop having major money problems. I'm not saying you're never going to have money problems again, but major money problems. The number one is no emergency fund. Now, you should have at least start off with $500. That'll fix an appliance repair, most car repairs. $1,000, that'll do a replacement of an appliance, give or take. And then you want to work your way up to $5,000, $10,000, 3 months worth of living expenses, 6 months worth of living expenses. But get started on an emergency fund. Now, the reason why we have an emergency fund is why, dear?
Because sometimes you have an emergency and you have to spend it all.
Sometimes you have emergencies. Now, I will tell you, having an emergency fund doesn't mean you're not going to ever have financial problems again. This last month, we had our major family problem. It completely drained our 6-month savings, and we are back in debt again. But it's not an unmanageable debt because we had that emergency savings. That's what it's there for when things come up like that. If your car breaks down, if you have $10,000 in the bank, you can buy a car with cash. Listen, if you can afford car payments, you can afford to save up for a car also, okay? And the thing is, emergencies are always going to be happening. Believe me, we will be married 30 years this year. And every year we have some sort of emergency, appliance breaking down, medical problem, medical bills, car repairs, house repairs. You just never know what emergency is going to happen, okay?
Well, and right now it's a big emergency, but the thing is, a lot of times what we realize is the things like car repairs and stuff, we used to not be prepared for that. And eventually we realized, wow, this emergency happens predictably every couple of months. So let's just put that into our budget as much.
And if you need to get an extra job for a few months to get that emergency fund and get it built up and do that. Now, somebody went by here and, Aline says, I was taught that credit card is used for emergencies. Okay, we're going to get into that a little bit more detailed here in just a minute when I talk about credit cards, okay? Just so you know. Okay, the next one, oops, I'm not editing a video right now. I clicked the wrong thing.
Hang on while she edits a video real quick.
The next thing is when your income goes up, your spending goes up. No. If your income goes up, that extra money you're getting goes to paying off your debt, paying off your house, or first of all, before those two, getting your emergency fund set up. Okay? So let's say Mike's earning $5,000 a month and he gets a raise and he's making $6,000 a month now. That extra $1,000 would go to build up our emergency fund first. Then after that, we'll get all of our consumer debt paid off, our cars, our student loans, our credit cards, and then we'll get our house paid off, okay? But what happens is the majority of people, they see that as their fun money and then they can just go spend, go on vacation, do whatever they want. No, you can't. If you have debt, you are not going on vacation. You are not going out to eat every 2 or 3 days because you're tired. So when your income goes up, your savings goes up, or your debt goes down, either one, but your fund does not go up, okay? The next thing is getting a home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC. This is one of the dumbest things people do. Stop getting a HELOC loan. Just stop it. What they do is they'll take the equity out of their house and then they'll go remodel their kitchen, or they'll go on vacation, or they'll do whatever. But do not take a home equity line of credit just to go have fun. Now, maybe if someone needs cancer treatment or something, you could maybe do something like that, but I would rather have you go get just a regular loan or something like that more than a home equity loan. The next one is not paying off your credit cards. This is absolutely nuts. Stop keeping a balance on your credit cards.
Why?
Now, well, because it's 29% interest, you're going to end up paying 10 times the amount for that dinner out than you paid for it in the first place. Like literally.
Yeah, if you put $50 on the credit card because you can't afford to pay cash for it, you're going to pay $70, $80, $100 depending on how long you leave it on the credit card instead of $50.
So back to the question on the credit cards being your emergency fund. Okay. Yes and no. No, it shouldn't just be for emergencies. But yes, if your credit cards give you a really good rate and you can get it paid off before that time is up, then I would use your credit cards. So in our situation, we had to take out some debt for our emergency. So we put it on our credit cards because we have 0% interest with, it was like $100 or $200 transfer fee. And we get basically 6 months interest free. Well, for the amount that we put on there, we should be able to get it paid off in 6 months. If not, then we'll either transfer it to another credit card with a low interest rate, or we'll just go get a loan at the bank or something. But credit cards are a very last resort. But you can sometimes use credit cards to your advantage. That's how Mike and I, when we were making $20,000 or $22,000 a year, we paid off $20,000 in debt by leveraging our credit cards and going from 0% card to another 0% card every 6 months. And we literally paid no interest. And I think it was about $150 in fees over 5 years to pay off $20,000 of debt. That's pretty darn tootin' good. That really is. So and yes, Julie says those transfers are all contingent on you pay on time. Of course, pay it on time. I mean, that goes without saying. Don't do this if you can't pay it on time. Don't use your credit cards if you're not going to get them paid off by the time that happens. And don't think that that's just a freebie that we're going to be able to do it. Now, if an emergency comes up, like when we were doing that transferring, my grandfather had a heart attack in the middle of that, and we had to make a quick trip from Kansas or from Idaho to Colorado, and the credit card bill came while I was gone. And I called the credit card company and I said, hey, my grandfather had a heart attack. I can't get to the bill. This was before online paying. And they said, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We will just hold it till next month, and then you can pay both of them, both the last month and this month's payment. And so just call them and explain. But here's the thing. We were never late on our bills. Our credit score is extremely high because we're so good with our bills and paying our bills.
And when the emergency fund wasn't enough, the fact that we had ourselves in that situation made it really easy to get no interest on the part that's on the card for a few months.
Yeah. And the emergency we had would be enough to make a lot of people have to go into bankruptcy. But because we were prepared and we lived frugally and we had our savings, we were able to handle that hit on the head with the hammer. Do you feel like you've been hit in the head with the hammer the last few weeks, dear?
I did, but now God has given me peace.
You're doing better. The next one is getting a car loan. Stop getting car loans. There is no reason for getting a car loan. You can get a car that will go from point A to point B for $5,000 or less. Most people can get a second job and earn $5,000 in just a month or two. 3 or 4 at the longest. But stop getting car loans, please. It is such a huge waste of money.
And if you have one now, instead of selling it to trade up to something more fancy, just keep driving it until you pay that off and then have the money to pay cash for something. And it sounds crazy, but I mean, we've never bought a brand new vehicle, but we buy a lot of almost new vehicles. Well, we have bought a lot of almost not new vehicles with cash, but it was a whole lot less than the cost. When I say almost new, they're older, but
in really good shape.
We shop really well to find somebody who basically kept it in pristine condition, and now they're selling it.
So we are very careful about our car shopping and do our due diligence in buying a car. So stop getting a car loan, okay? Not paying off your house. This is another big one. Listen, you should really be focused on paying off your house. There is no advantage to just giving the bank more money. And for that extra 1 or 2% interest you're going to pay, or you're going to get paid on your investments, if you do that, it is just not worth the peace of mind to have when your house is paid off. So just get your house paid off. All right, guys, this video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime Cookbooks Volume 1 and Volume 2, 25% off, and also our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Listen, these are easy recipes that get you in and out of the kitchen quick with ingredients you already have on hand that your family will love. We also have a few undated planners left. 400 pages, 366 days to help you get yourself organized and stay organized. Katie says she recently made the French vanilla creamer and it was cheaper and tasted even better than the kind she was buying at the store. I'm telling you, it's darn tootin' good, isn't it? I know.
Which was it?
Vanilla.
Oh, yeah. French
vanilla. That's Mike's favorite. So, yes, it is. And Janet made the Sloppy Joe. That's in volume number 1 also. All right. The next thing is kids. Dumb money mistakes is not using birth control. Oh, wait. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm only kidding. I love my children dearly.
That's why we had more than a lot of other people have. Because we love them greatly.
We love our children greatly. Yes, we love them.
We just couldn't get enough of a good thing.
Yes. No, but kids, here's the thing, guys. Kids sports to the tune of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. And the parents keep funding these things. They go on trips all over the country. This is not just playing baseball anymore. It's absolutely ludicrous. The other thing is kids' college. If you have your retirement all funded and set up and ready to go, and your house is totally paid off and all of your debt is totally paid off, go ahead and pay for your kids' college if you want. If you don't have those 3 things done and your retirement ready, you do not have the money to be paying for your kids' college. Sorry. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but that is the truth. Okay? So I love my children to death, but we were never in a financial position to be able to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on kids' sports and college and those kinds of things. And kids don't need all of those things. So that's the next thing.
Well, and sometimes they don't like college. A lot of the kids don't really want it, but mom and dad want them to have it and push it. And then mom and dad take out loans. And then when the kids are older and they don't want to pay the loans, mom and dad get upset.
Yeah. And Semi Country Living says, I think kids' sports build character. They make friends and it builds confidence, though. Maybe just pick one. No, not to the tune of $10,000 to $20,000 a year. It's fine if you're doing it for fun and you're on a league and, you know, it's maybe what, a couple $100 or something for the year. That's fine.
Or like,
but not if you're spending $10,000 to $20,000 a year. No.
If they're doing sports at their local school and they go to other competitions in your state and they ride on the bus with the other kids to that, it's probably not as bad. But what we're talking about is we know people that their kids are in soccer and so they fly to other states all the time.
This is like
it's
several
really a
times
common
a month.
thing. And so people spend $10,000 or $20,000 per kid.
It's ridiculous.
Sports. If your kid is in sports and you pay a couple $100 a year for them to play
That's
football
fine.
because they ride on the bus to meets that are in the same state as you, we don't have a problem with that. But what we're saying is keep in balance the cost, because a lot of people think they're going to be ruined for life if they don't do this sport, and I'm going to have to spend 20 grand on it. And that's just
like
not
if your
okay.
local YMCA or recreation center or something has, you know, something like that, that's totally fine. And Tyler from Generation 2434, hello.
Tyler.
College is a ripoff for most people. Also, they tend to be indoctrination centers that do great damage. I know. You're not gonna
Totally agree.
You are not going to get me to say otherwise. I think the majority, and I will say the majority of college is the biggest waste of time and money for most kids nowadays. Next is, oh yeah. Are you guys ready for this one? Flushing all your money down the toilet, literally. By eating out and drinking all of your money. You know, I got to thinking today, my grandma is going to be 96 in a couple of weeks. And I do not know, I really don't think my grandma has ever purchased anything but gas at a convenience store. Do you think grandma has purchased anything but gas at a convenience store?
Has grandma even been inside of the
I don't know if
convenience
she's
store?
even been inside
Well,
a convenience
she
store.
was probably before they had to pay at the pump.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But wow.
I guarantee you, grandma has not. And I would venture to really say she's never purchased anything at a convenience store. And let me tell you, our convenience stores, I am shocked how it is a constant flow of people in and out with $10 to $15 worth of drinks and hot dogs and chips and candy bars and slushies. I'm like, seriously. And the restaurants, they are full. The restaurants are full. So stop literally pooping all your dollars down the toilet, peeing all your dollars down the toilet. Stop it. Just stop it.
Well, and if you have a reasonably good income, you could go out once in a while. Like, well,
yeah, like we do a taco date 2 or 3 times a month, but we share a fajitas. That's it. And yeah. But yeah. All right. The next one is you're too tired. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one too.
Too tired is the money mistake?
Yes.
This ought to be good.
You're too tired to cook dinner. You're too tired to go to thrift stores. You're too tired to cut your own lawn. You're too tired to clean your own house. You're too tired to eat. Did I say eat at home? I can't remember. To eat at home.
Do I confess that I wasn't listening?
And the thing is, if you're that tired, you need to cut something out. Even if you're a working mom, if you're that tired, you have got to be cutting something out. You can't be killing yourself to the point where you are so tired that you cannot even fix a meal. If you can't fix a meal at home because you're too tired, you have way too much going on and something needs to be cut. It really does. Most meals, Dining on a Dime cookbook, can be done in 10 to 20 minutes in and out of the kitchen. All the kids can put their own dishes in the dishwasher. It doesn't take 5-10 minutes to clean up the pan. So if you don't have 20 to 30 minutes for the entirety of dinner, clean up and prep and all that, something needs to be, need it. Yeah, something needs to be done because you are just doing too much. You're just doing too much. Is Tara's tough love too tough? Type 1 if you think Tara's tough love is too tough. Type 2 if you guys agree with me. I need somebody to be on my side. No, I don't need anybody to be on side because I know I'm right. But let's see. Vicky says most people go to convenience stores for food now, and while they are there, they decide to get gas. Completely opposite of what gas stations used to be. Exactly. I know.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how many people go to the grocery store and buy like a whole bag of groceries.
Yeah, I know. And Tanya says it's better to have bagged frozen foods such as pizza and nuggets, and then you aren't tempted to go out to eat. Yeah.
What was it that during the grocery audits, one of the people had, she was in Canada, I think. She had a name for that. The food that you buy to prevent people from going out.
Yeah. I don't remember what she called it, but yeah.
It was hilarious.
The next one is student loans. Stop it with the student loans. It is just plain stupid, stupid, stupid. I'm sorry. I cannot think of one case of people that I know personally who had to have a student loan. I don't know of anyone. It is better for you to take 8 years instead of 4 to get through college and pay cash for it than to get through college for 4 years and spend the next 10, 20 years paying off your student loans. The stress is not worth it. The stress is not worth it. And so, guys, those dumb money mistakes, I mean, it's the top of what everybody does, but if you would just get those under control, it would really help you to get your finances in order and stay in order. And then when you have major emergencies happen, it's not going to completely crush your entire financial world, because a lot of these things are crushing you because you're just making stupid mistakes. All right. If you guys have comments or questions, please post them in the comment section. Oh, everybody agrees with me. They love me. Thank you, guys.
And about the stupid mistakes, sorry, guys. A lot of people, well, not a lot. Some people get really upset if you say those were stupid mistakes. But we've all made super stupid mistakes. And the idea is to say, man, I'm making stupid mistakes now. I'm going to stop doing that. So,
yep.
So don't feel bad if you realize, man, something I'm doing is really not working out.
Well, and take the time. You know, here's another thing. I got to tell you a story that happened this week with part of what's, you know, being tired. So for most of you know that we're on a health share, but we have to pay cash for a lot of our medical stuff. So we got a quote for a medical procedure, and they quoted me it was $2,500, right? I think it was $2,500.
Yes.
And I got a quote, and they said it's going to be $2,500. Okay. Went in and had the procedure done, paid the bill, thought we were all clear. We get another bill for $1,700. Like, what? Why do we have another bill for $1,700? I was quoted $2,500. So I call and she says, well, that's the doctor's portion. I'm like, what? Are they going to have the orderly do the surgery? Hello? The doctor's portion should be included in this.
When you ask them what's the total cost, that should be included.
So I told her, I said, you know, you guys gave me a quote for $2,500. And I said, this is not right that I'm getting another bill for $1,700 from the doctor. If there is a separate bill, you should have told me there's going to be a separate bill for $1,700 from the doctor for this procedure. And I said, I'm fine if you're, checking biopsies and that kind of thing, whatever. I get that. Sometimes you have to, do those kinds of things. But to get another bill for $1,700 that should have been included in the first one, yeah, I don't think so. To get a separate anesthesia bill, are you going to go and do the surgery without anesthesia? Hello, of course not. That's included in the procedure. So I was very nice, but I was very firm in letting them know that I was not happy getting another bill when I had already been quoted one price. And so, so this was last week, right? When we got the bill. So this was last week. And yesterday I got a phone call and they said, I just want to let you know that we talked to the manager and you're right. That should have all been included. And we should have told you that there was going to be another fee coming. So we're writing it off. So we were able to save $1,700 on that particular bill because I threw a fit. I threw a nice fit, but I threw a fit about it. I was polite, wasn't I?
Yes. When you were on the phone with them. Afterwards, she said, I am so mad.
Well, I was pretty ticked because the former bill, I'm going to be doing a video on this and I can't remember the exact dates, but it was something to the effect of the bill printed on March 2nd. I didn't receive it until March 9th and it was due on March 16th. That is not right. I should have at least 30 days between the time I receive it till the time it's due. And then they said, expect 7 to 10 days to get in the mail to a town 30 miles away. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely wrong. So throw a fit on these things, guys. Be polite about it, but be firm and say, no, this is not right. This is the bill I was quoted. And we got another quote from a different hospital for the same procedure, and they wanted $6,800. And guess what? On that quote, they had added a procedure and added it on there twice. So be looking at these things and be diligent doing the work. You don't have time to not be diligent in these things and look at it. $1,700 is a lot of money to just throw to a doctor because you're not looking at the bill really well. All right. Aline says, is an emergency fund separate from a savings account? Same thing. I mean, you can make them separate. However, if you're saving for like a vacation or something, you can make them in separate accounts if you want. But the way I did it before when I was on my own was I just left it all in my bank account. And then I just said, okay, here's $500. This is going to be for X and $500 for X or whatever. And so that's how I did it. I didn't have separate accounts for all kinds of stuff, but you can do it however you want. Inbalance says, I gave birth almost 2 weeks ago and I am mother for the first time. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yay.
They are worth
2
it.
weeks.
Despite what I say, they're worth it. And sometimes I feel lost.
You've never said they're not worth it.
No, I haven't. They are worth it. She's a mother for the first time and she sometimes feels lost. I wanted to know how with your illness you managed to raise 4 children because it feels so hard. Okay, so first of all, it's only been 2 weeks.
For what?
Since she gave birth.
Oh, yes.
It is not reasonable to expect anything 2 weeks after giving birth. Around month 3 or 4, then the baby will start sleeping longer periods, maybe not sleeping through the night. None of my kids slept through the night, but longer periods of time. And literally just take it one day at a time at this point in your life. Seriously, you're not going to be getting projects done. The main thing that I would do is to just make sure you keep up on the dishes. I would also make sure you get up and get dressed and put your makeup on every day. I know it seems like it's impossible when the baby's screaming and all that, but the baby can lay down in car seat or playpen or whatever you have, whatever the newfangled things now, next to you in the bathroom while you're getting ready. Keep your makeup and hair routine very, very simple to just 5 minutes, but put on some foundation and some blush and some lipstick, and you will feel significantly better. And get dressed. Do not stay in your pajamas all day long for months on end, okay? Now, as you're recovering these first 2 weeks, that's fine. I totally get it. But now's the time where you start getting dressed and start getting your makeup and your hair done. Even if it's being pulled back in a ponytail, that's fine. But do something with yourself so that you will feel better about yourself in general. Then Mike was very helpful. He got up in the middle of the night with the kids a lot. When he came home from work, he helped with the kids and tamed them.
One of them would never sleep at night for a long
Yeah.
time. And so we took turns being up.
During the
That
night.
was the night shift.
Yeah. And so we were able to take turns. So if your husband's able to help, let him help. He may not just know off the top of the head what he needs to do. Just say, hey, could you please go change the baby's diaper this time? It makes me so mad when women say, well, you should just know what you need to be doing. Yes, guys should see that there's a sink full of dishes and help with a sink full of dishes, but they don't always. So just say, please, can you go do the dishes for me? That's just really driving me crazy. And it would just be so helpful if you could do that. Now, mom did help when BJ and Ellie, well, let's see. Yeah, I guess she was there for all 4 kids, I guess, I think. So she also helped during that time also with that. So I did have help with Mike during the night, and then mom wasn't there every day. Like, the first week or 2, she would come over and help, but she wasn't there every day. And don't be so hard on yourself is the biggest thing. It's only been 2 weeks. So give yourself some grace and realize you just had a baby. You just produced life from your body. That's a major undertaking. Seeking Joy Now says, hi from California. Gas is $5 here now. Things are rough due to high food prices. Need to cut back on as much as possible. Yep. Vicky says, emergencies are pretty much guaranteed. Got to have that money to be ready for it. Yep. Tisha says, emergency savings is a wonderful idea. Yes. Water bucket. It was freeing to finally have an emergency fund. We did not get out of our financial holes until we got an emergency fund. We just didn't. And so once we got an emergency fund, then we were able to start getting our head above water. A water bucket. I used to use credit cards as an emergency until I finally saved up the cash. Now we did that. And that's where we were transferring our credit cards for 0% because Mike was making $6 an hour. And it literally just got right to the point where he had to earn more income. There is a point where you just have to earn more income. You can only save so much. You can only cut so much. I would say if you're earning less than $50,000 a year with 4 kids, you need to earn more income and figure it out. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Oh, and she's blowing us kiss. Is that kisses or it's a heart?
Oh, thank you.
Gail says I always pay the credit card in full. Yep. Janet, we sit in our backyard and had a perfect view of the eclipse. We were in the path of totality. Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, we only got about a third of it here.
Okay.
And it was cloudy, but still got a good picture.
So I still don't get this. Maybe it's the warrior gene in me. Why were people crying over this? I was watching it from Mexico. And there were all these people just sobbing when the eclipse was happening. I do not understand this. I mean, it's nice and it's cool, but it's just an eclipse. So someone please explain that to me. Julie, what was the emergency? Can you share?
No.
Yeah. So it was of a medical nature, but no, we cannot share. Kimberly, credit score is everything. Always make sure to keep your credit score good and or excellent. Mine is 817. That's after a lifetime and many mistakes of working and keeping good credit. Yes, for us too. What was ours the other day? Like 860 or something?
864.
Hot dog. Not that we're going to be getting a loan for anything. Well, we did, I guess.
It's funny because Dave Ramsey says, you don't need it. Don't worry about it. And I think we kind of disagree with that. The thing is, for people that have a credit score and they're in the habit of borrowing everything all the time, then you really don't need it and you shouldn't have it. But it's nice to have it where if something goes really sideways, you can still kind of finagle things just to get back to where you were. Not that you should use that as a backup, like we said before, but like if you use your whole emergency fund or if there's some other thing, like for instance, when we were in Europe in 2017, being able to use that for a car made the car a lot cheaper, or using it for, I guess it was for the deposit on the car, made it a lot cheaper. If we didn't have that to get a car, I would have had to pay a $5,000 cash deposit down, which there's just a lot of things like that where if you can control your spending habits, then, and you don't, use the interest a lot, then it's helpful to have that credit.
Yeah. And I know some friends who followed Dave Ramsey for 20 years and then they went to go buy a house. They were really low income and they had saved the down payment. And they almost were not able to buy the house, even though the mortgage was less than the rent they were paying because they had zero credit score. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So when they sit there and say, oh, it's easy to get a loan. No, that's a bunch of baloney. That's not true. All right, let's see. Wendy says we put everything on our credit card each month because we get 0%, because we get 1% back each purchase. Yeah, us too. Like, I don't use my credit card thinking, oh, this is free money. I use my credit card thinking this is how I'm keeping track of my bills. This is making returns easier for me so that I don't have to keep track of the receipts. I mean, I do keep the receipts, but it's easier to keep track of the receipts. And I'm like at Walmart returning something every week.
Well, I think a lot of people do think that credit cards are free money or other kinds of debt, because when we were in Colorado, they would have commercials on the radio talking about how terrible it is that your money is all tied up in that house because its value has increased and you need to basically liberate your money from the house. And so they were like, you can come to us and get this loan and then you can go on vacation and have all this great fun. And the way that they were portraying it was, somebody stole that from you because it's in your house in equity and you need to release that home equity. And I was thinking, it's totally a scam because you're not releasing it. Home equity is something of value that you own and you're basically just getting rid of it. And the fact that they advertised that way made me think a lot of people have to be buying that because otherwise they wouldn't spend the money for the ads.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I might quickly say, for those of you who are on YouTube and at some point maybe you see an ad and then it jumps back to the beginning of the video, I checked a couple of shows back and I've shared this with some people, but YouTube has said that if you update the app that you're watching it on, so if it's an app on your phone or device or whatever, or a browser, that would normally fix the problem. And I've mentioned that to a number of people and they said it did fix the problem. So I would suggest doing that.
All right, next one is don't pay for anything. Don't charge anything you can't pay for right now. Yes, that is our normal stance. This emergency that we had did put us over, but it was many, many thousands of dollars. So it just, sometimes you just have to do that. So, Tanya, I really want to pay off my house, but I had dental work and still making repairs. Yes, get your teeth done before your house, please. Not going to do you any good to be miserable in pain and possibly get an infection. So please do that. Kenneth says, this is the place for truth.
Yes.
But you can't handle the truth.
Well, he can because he's here.
Well, he can. Yes, Ken has been with us long enough. He can handle the truth. Barbara says, we are both so frugal. I love hearing your advice. I'm 65 and saved well, but the younger generation needs to hear it. Yes. Rubies, unless it's a vocational college teaching practical skills, it's not worth it. Yeah, I know. I do not know how many people who have gone to 4 years of college, they get out and they're making $15 an hour. Person after person after person I know is doing this, and it's just such a waste of money. Greta, competitive sports are a scam. Parents are paying for other adults' Hummers payments while they drive a Ford. Yep. Talk to hockey parents. My sister-in-law spends tons of dollars on $2 in elite hockey every night and almost every weekend. Oh, don't even get me started here, Bounty. Well, you're our neighbors, so you probably totally get it. My goodness, the hockey here. I just want to say, are you people insane? I don't. I'm nice. But if they're watching my show, are you people insane? Okay, I'm done. Amy, we did soccer league for our daughter, $25 for the season. Yeah, I'm okay with that kind of kid sports.
Well,
I'm totally okay with that. But this spending $10,000 and $20,000 a year flying kids all over the country for these sports is ridiculous.
Well, and when we heard it from a friend who was, I think they were spending like $20,000, but their income was like 80. Yeah. So you spend more than your house, sometimes your house mortgage. And that's just crazy. That's where you have to ask yourself, because there are, especially when we were in Colorado, there was a big culture of keeping up with the Joneses. Like, so everyone else is doing it, or I have to do it, or I look like I'm not worthy. And thinking, but those people are going to lose their house the next time 2008 comes along, and you're not. And so don't do what they're doing when you know.
Yeah.
It's the whole, if everybody was jumping off a cliff.
Diane, thank you so much. She gave us a $50 super chat, just a gift for our family. She got an extra unexpected bonus. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That is so nice. Diane has been with us for so long. And she hasn't left yet. I haven't made her mad yet. All right, guys. Our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are 25% off right now. Easy recipes, cheap ingredients that you already have on hand that pretty much anybody can make. We are getting tons of emails from people saying their kids are loving them and using them all the time also. And our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. If you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me, you can still eat delicious food. And our undated planners, 400 pages, 366 days to help you get it together. Can you see right there? And then we have our chore chart so you can keep your house neat and tidy. And we have our budget. Right there's our budget and our menus right there. And let's see, where's the chores? I was going for the chore. Oh, here's the chores. Right there. So you can get organized now. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Dee likes my lipstick. It's a combo. I'm going through my lipstick drawer and I'm trying every lipstick and I'm getting rid of the ones that I just don't love. Yeah.
Last night it was bedtime and she was putting on lipstick and I'm like, you're putting on lipstick for bed?
He was like, oh, you're putting on lipstick for bed. I
was going to say, maybe I better hurry and brush my teeth.
Sorry, I went to sleep, didn't I? Yeah, I was like, I got to get this lipstick drawer. I don't have that many. I've only got like 10, but some of them are like, I never pick these up. If I don't like it, why don't I just get rid of it? Even if I did buy it new. Bounty of the Badlands. Love paying the pump. Very rarely have to go to the store. Never tempted. Yep. Vicky, most people go to convenience stores for food now, and while they're there, decide to get gas. Completely opposite of what it used to be. Exactly. Rubies. And all the student loans do is get spent in bars and restaurants. I know. It's fine if you're using your student loans to act. No, it's not fine. But I would be more okay with it if you were actually spending your student loans like on college and books. but they're spending eating out, buying cars, renting houses they can't afford. I totally
Wait,
get it.
on the loans?
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because we talked to someone the other day whose friend doesn't know what she wants to do and uses that just to kind of get along in life while she puts off the inevitable, thinking that eventually it's going to be written off by the government. But I have news. When I was in college more than 30 years ago, there was a girl that was charging up all her credit cards saying, because the economy is going to crash any day now and it's all going to get written off. And I have to think, if I knew her now, I'm curious what happened with that, because none of that happened. So I think it's just a bad thought process from a lot of people.
Well, and the colleges are convincing them to do this because the colleges get more money. So Greta says, eat a bowl of cereal or PB&J. No fast food. Yeah, exactly. We have...
Did you say the planner was 90% off?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2 kids that do DoorDash for their jobs. It is unbelievable how much people spend on DoorDashing. And they know, like, some of the people, it's every single day. You're like, seriously.
Well, and for those of you that don't know, DoorDash is you pay to have somebody go to McDonald's and get your McDonald's and bring it to you. And a lot of times it's just right across the street, but it's like, I don't know, $10, $15 extra to have them do it for you. And it's interesting because they've acknowledged the fact that the majority of the people that buy it seem like the ones that would be the most likely to say they don't have the money, which is kind of odd. So.
Well, yeah, and our one son, his coworkers would literally DoorDash across the street for them to deliver the food. He said, well, it's only $1. Yeah, but when you do it every day, that's $365. Or even if you're only working 200 days a year, that's $200 because you don't want to walk across the street. Holy moly. Kenneth says, I'm too tired to argue, so he came here to agree with everything we say. Thank you. You guys would be so proud of me. It was time for the yearly mandatory parent meeting at school last night.
Yes.
Were you proud of me?
I was very proud of you.
I kept my mouth shut.
It was shocking.
I didn't say a word.
I know. I was in awe.
Give me a thumbs up if you guys were proud of me.
I was in awe of your self-control. Actually, it's a blessing. The school is a blessing, but the ones that she doesn't do well with are the PTA meetings.
Yeah.
Because they just go on.
I don't mind if it's short and to the point. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we need help with. Okay, goodbye. But when it gets long and drawn out, it drives me batty. Several people said if you're that tired, you need to see the doctor. Yeah, I agree, but a lot of times it's just, yeah, I agree though. Vicki, there are people in their 60s still dealing with student loans. I know. My chiropractor told me it was going to take her till she was 65 to pay off her student loans. I was just like,
but you might be retired before you pay it off.
That's just absolutely sad. So sad. Barbara, totally agree about the student loans. What a waste for kids and their parents. Yep. Seeking Joy says, I met a woman who was in her late 50s still paying off student loans. She was a teacher. I know. Melissa, remember the old saying that the longer you live together, the more you look alike? That's you guys. And by the way, you look great. Oh, no. Do we look like each other? I'm sorry. You're not going to start wearing a dress, are you?
No. No.
Are you secure in your manhood?
I am.
I know you're secure in your manhood. I got 4 kids. Tell them what happened. Tell them what happened at work that day with the 2 with your coworkers. Proving
there might be kids watching.
Proving their manhood.
Yeah, I had a couple coworkers back when I was in the television days, and they were younger than me, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's not." They're like, "Who's the more manly man? Who's the more manly man?" I'm like, "I got 4 kids," so and they're like, "Oh, gross! Don't tell me that." It was pretty funny.
Okay, Kaylee says, I'm a medical coder. That always happens. A facility fee and a doctor fee. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it should be illegal if it's not. I'm sorry. If you're going to quote me on how much my surgery is going to be, then, or whatever, labs or whatever, that needs to be the quote. Well, it's ridiculous because we went to one doctor here and it was $500. The same exact doctor was $200 30 miles away. As a matter of fact, I told that doctor, he said, man, I should be charging more. Anyway. Kitty Boo says, what's the point of the quote? I know. And they have to, they're supposed to, on the quote, it says they're supposed to stick to that within like $200 or something. I can't remember. It says something like that on the bottom. It says that they're supposed to stick to that. So, Jay No More took me 8 months to fight a charge. I should have got, I know. I keep saying through this whole ordeal, I do not know how people with cancer and major illnesses deal with these hospitals and doctors. I don't know how they do it. Kayla, I am 31 years old. Why does this make sense to me and not other people? I know about student loans. I know.
Jonathan's on. He said that he's getting uncomfortable with the conversation. Are you putting it on credit cards, Jonathan?
Yeah, paying off his credit card. I don't think he's meaning that.
Oh, okay. Oh, the man thing. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I totally missed the news.
Are you putting it?
I'm back an hour ago on the show.
Barbara, do not pay a healthcare bill until you review and question every line. I know. Insurance companies are the worst scammers. I know. And what makes me so mad about that other one was we literally had 6 days to pay it. That is not right. That is so wrong on so many levels. I can't even believe it's legal.
There was one quote for a stomach scope, a GI scope. And when the quote finally arrived, it had 2 colonoscopies listed. Oh, you did say that?
Added to it. And they were the same thing. 2 of them added on there.
But I think a lot of people wouldn't see that and they would just pay it.
Connie, Tara, and Mike, I will go to the website and donate for Bibles. No worries about the donation. Yeah, the donation if you want to donate for Bibles, we do have a separate donation button on the Bible page. And just so everyone knows, that money is kept separate. And so we only use Bible donation money. We're not a tax exempt or anything, but we only use the Bible donation money for Bibles donations. And we just got our newest load of Bibles last week. So if you need a Bible,
I was looking at them thinking, man, I'm not sure.
We need how long already?
Not yet, but they're going faster than I thought.
Yeah, we're shipping out Bibles right, and Mike is shipping out Bibles
so
right and left.
The page for that is a separate page, but I think there's a link on the Bible page that says something about that. So, yeah.
Kenneth, you know what? I have noticed how our family's advice, recipes, and Bibles have helped countless people around the world. Oh, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Considering today, I was like, forget it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I'm having a very hard time with doing videos and business stuff right now. We're trying once again. I know we've been talking about this for years. I know. But we're still trying to figure out what videos to do. And today I was just like, I'm just going to go through my email and get my email cleared because I can't do this. Lisa, my daughter would sleep 12 hours from the day she was born, and I was having to wake her up to feed her all the time. Yeah, so our oldest, he wouldn't sleep through the night, but during the day, he would sleep 5 or 6 hours at a time. And it finally got to the point where the doctor was like, you need to start waking him up to feed him. I'm like, do I have to? Christine says, I never let my husband help me with the baby or housework because he worked all day and I wanted him to relax instead of working more. Well, yeah, but if you're working 24 hours a day, he can help out too. I mean, it's fine. If you're a housewife, you need to be at home working, not sitting on your phone, not watching videos. You need to be actually working. Why are you looking at me?
No, I was wondering, are you
looking at
Christine's
me?
question?
Are you saying I'm on the computer scrolling on my phone all day long?
No, I was wondering.
Are you being judgmental?
If it's Christine's question that you're answering.
Yes, it is. And so the best example I ever heard from the Tightwad Gazette was, if you're a stay-at-home mom or wife, if your husband is working 8 hours, you should be working 8 hours. Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're going to be working a whole lot more than 8 hours a day. But it's okay for your husband to give the kids a bath, to give you a break, or for him to help you with dinner, feeding them or whatever, those kinds of things. So just because he's working 8 hours a day and tired, now if he's working 12 hours a day and tired, okay, that's fine. Then it's evenly. But, just make sure that you're not wearing yourself out because he's only working 8 or 10 hours a day. So, Teresa, I had easy babies, was military wife, so alone. If the babies would stayed 6 weeks, I'd had a dozen. Quit it too. Yeah. Nancy says, "Oh, you put that comment in there on purpose. Mike is a jewel."
Yes. I just wanted to make sure that you saw that she said it.
You are. Thank you. You guys, I'm so excited to tell you about what Mike's been doing, but I can't tell you about what Mike's been doing because it's not ready yet. And I know once it's ready, you're going to want to order some of it because it's so stinking cool. And we only got it 2 minutes before the show, and he didn't have time to put it up for order. But I can't wait. Do you think we'll have it ready for next week's show?
I hope. I was going to try to get it on before the week is over.
It's so stinking cool. I was like,
I was pretty excited.
Happy Mother's Day to me. Happy April 16th to me. Happy April 17th to me.
Yes.
What else can
Those
we
are
get
super
in between
special
that?
days for us. Yes.
Happy Grandma's birthday to me. Lisa says, during the eclipse, it became silent. The winds and temperatures dropped. The sky turned eerie. You could feel the power of God creating the surreal. It was awesome. Yeah, that would be really cool. I can totally see that. I just don't understand. I mean, I guess if you're thinking, wow, the power of God, I could see why you would be crying for that, I suppose. I didn't think about that. But I've seen several eclipses in my life. They weren't completely total, but they were like the one in Colorado last time was really close because we were really close to the path. It was like 90% last time or something.
Yeah, what was cool about that one is it got sort of dark, and then it didn't look dark, but it got somewhat darker, and then all the crickets started chirping through the whole thing.
And all the lights
Like
turned on,
and
all the night
street lights went on. Yeah, and that was pretty cool. Here, it was only about a third, but it cooled off enough that it was super, super windy beforehand because the weather front was coming in, and it just stopped completely. All the wind just stopped. And then when it ended, all the wind kicked up again. And I know that's because the temperature was going down a little bit, even though I didn't feel it, and it affected the way the wind blows. But that was pretty amazing. I love seeing those kinds of things.
Barbara says, "Hi, Barbara. Thank you for the Easter cards. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to check on the envelope to see who it was from. Well, no, I did check, but I've forgotten because I got here like 2 or 3 days ago. But whoever sent me the little gnome notepads, thank you so much. Those are so stinking cute. It's unbelievable. Ooh, that's another thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara, the crying. Everyone is consumed with feelings these days. Everything is reduced to a feeling. I know. It's not about your feelings. Just stop it. It's okay to have feelings. But when your whole world revolves around your feelings, that's not okay. Barbara, they'd have to pull that equity from my house's cold, dead hands. If my house had hands. I know. I do have to say, as much as our house is worth, I have a very hard time because we could sell our house in the business and just flat out retire. But we really like where we live. And we couldn't get anything for less, unless we move to Tennessee or something, which I'm not willing to do. No offense if you live in Tennessee. But I'm not willing to do that. I don't like the heat and humidity. So I wouldn't be able to buy a house like that. So it's kind of a, give and take thing. So I guess when we retire, we'll just sell the house and just go live in a motel. How's that sound?
It's funny. I heard the other day about some older people who found it was cheaper to go on cruises all the time than to be in a
nursing home. Yes.
Well, I think it was a independent place, but anyway, it was kind of funny because I'd probably choose that too if I had the choice.
Guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are 25% off right now. The red one is volume 1 and the blue one is volume 2. Start here, and this is its companion. They go together, but they're totally different recipes. Easy recipes your family will love and get you in and out of the kitchen quick with cheap ingredients you already have on hand, and our gluten-free, dairy-free edition if you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me. And then our undated planner, which we're almost out of, but 400 pages, 366 days. Kimberly, and Tracy received our books and planners. Thank you so much. You are so welcome, Tracy. I hope you like them. Kimberly, how's the organization and cleaning out going at your friend's house? So we kind of stalled because there was a whole bunch of meetings at school this week. She's a teacher at school, and she had a whole bunch of meetings at school this week, but we found a recliner. She needed a new recliner, and I found one on Facebook Marketplace yesterday for her. So Jack and I ran over and got it for her and took it to her house, and we were there, and she has not, it's not going backwards. As a matter of fact, Jack was like, oh, wow, there's really a lot of progress getting made. So she hasn't done a lot since we've left, but she's maintaining it and keeping it nice and neat. And her son got a new desk, and I was very impressed. He got it all spiffy and neat. I was like, wow. So he was all inspired. So that's good. Karen, Tara, you can't make us old timers mad. We understand you too well. Oh, thanks. Karen's been with us forever too. Teresa, when grandkids are over, they go through the red cookbook. They call it Dime Book.
You've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, they find a recipe in the Dime Book and then go and see if we have the ingredients, which we usually do. Love the Dime Book. Very good. Midwest Mom says, since January, we've had to replace our HVAC, upgrade our electrical, and do an $850 roof repair and replace the toilet. It's all paid for. We knew the HVAC was coming, didn't count on the rest. Very good. See, it's for those reasons you have an emergency fund. Lisa, my daughter has always wanted to be a nurse, so she found a teaching hospital that will pay for her entire program. Yeah. My niece, she was a straight A student, so she got all of her college paid for. So yeah. Kaylee, what is the best way to raise your credit score? Pay your bills. Just pay your bills. Lisa, pray for her papa. He's 96 and fell yesterday and broke his back. Oh, man. And he just recovered from a broken neck. Oh, poor guy. Oh, man. Bandana Grandma, Dave Ramsey has great advice, but after paying for his classes, I realized I was already doing all the things he suggested because I was raising 7 kids on very little money. I gave the tapes to my kids. Actually, we had some people suggest that we take Dave Ramsey's class. And I was like, well, everything I've learned, I think I would have been really ticked when we were making $6 an hour and paying, if I would have paid $100 for that class when I didn't have the money and to learn nothing, I would have been so mad because basically for us, it was just a matter of, we just had to earn more income. It's not that we were being wasteful in our spending, which I'm very thankful that Mike is not just out buying cars or motorcycles and stuff like that, like some guys do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Debbie, I got my mortgage via manual underwriting through Churchill Mortgage with little trouble, but I know that's not everyone's experience. Yeah, that's not the norm from the several people that I have heard. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've heard several people try to do that, and it was just a nightmare. Nicole, what are your thoughts on Israel and the rapture possibly very soon, hopefully? What are my thoughts on Israel? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the war? Are you talking about Israel being a nation? First of all, I think that it has every single right in the world to be defending itself against evil. And that's what it is. People who go in and do the atrocities that they did on October 7th deserve to have their country bombed. I don't think that Israel should, what's the word? Negotiate, give in, whatever. I think they need to just take it out and be done with it. Those people have caused nothing but problems for them. And
but they are also being extremely careful not to kill civilians.
Yeah.
And despite what the other media says, if you don't look at the news and you look at the actual sources on the ground, you will find that the media is not telling you the truth.
Yeah. And while I feel really bad, if I was a mother, I would feel horrible if my child was injured or hurt being attacked that way. This is just a part of life. This is just war. If you're going to let these people take over your country like Nazi Germany did, there's going to be casualties like that. And I feel really bad for those people, but unfortunately, that's just a part of life. Now, do I think the rapture is very soon? I hope so. I mean, I'm honest. Not that I lie. I don't sit here and lie to you guys. Why do people say that? I'll be honest, honestly. But I ain't lying. I don't know why people say that, but I have the hardest time. I have the hardest time because I'm just like, okay, why am I even doing this if we're going to be gone in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? And I know.
Because we don't know the day or the hour.
I know. And I know we're supposed to keep going on, but I'm tired and I don't want to keep going on. At this
if you
point,
think about back when I remember I had this question a number of years ago, like, what would we have, things wouldn't have been good if we didn't do anything between then and now.
I know. But at this point, I'm like literally numb. I am just numb. And so.
Except for Mike's gift for you.
Well, yes, those were very nice. Thank you. But.
We'll tell you next week.
We'll tell you what he got me next week, which was really cute. But at this point,
so stay tuned. Just kidding.
Okay, next one. So I hope the rapture comes soon. I am tired and worn out. Valley Badlands, $10,000, close to $50,000 for 2 kids. Monthly rink fees were $1,500. I know. I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. Yes, Nancy, we got the seeds. You may be missed when I was telling it in the last show, but we got the seeds, and actually I am planting them tomorrow. I was out digging in the raised beds, getting ready to get the lettuce in, so thank you very much. I'm so excited. Ayla, what are your thoughts on taking money out of 401k to pay off debt? My husband and I have $17,000 in various credit card debt. Feel like we are only paying on interest when we make the payments. Well, okay, $17,000 really isn't that much money. You didn't say how much you earn. So I don't know how much you earn, but instead of taking it out of the 401k, I would just go get another job. $17,000 you can have paid off in 6 months with a second job. Easy. So, and you don't say, do you have the car payments cut? So you have no car payments. You're not eating out. You're not doing any vacations. You're not getting fancy hair, nails. You're not buying new clothes, buying new shoes. All of your clothes and everything are from the thrift store. And then the next thing is, can you get your interest rate lower? Call your credit card company and say, I've been a faithful payer. Can I please get a lower interest rate? And some of them will do that. If you have an offer for 0%, then transfer it and don't charge more on your credit cards. But could you go get a loan at the bank for 6% interest or 7% interest or even 12% interest versus 29%? Are there things you can sell? Do you need 2 cars? If you have 2 cars, could you sell a car and put it on there? If you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't need a car. It's nice, it's convenient, but you don't need a car.
But the thing is, most people, almost everyone in America spends a lot more than they think on things that are really not necessary. I mean, we think, oh, I need this. But the reality is most of us don't need almost everything we have. So it would probably be better to try to cut those things first before you think about a 401k. I mean, the thing with 401k though is if the economy goes up and down, you can lose money on it because you can't take it out if things start to nosedive. So, but at the same time, I know there's penalties for taking it out, and it might end up being better to find some other way to cut.
Yeah. Oh, it might get me a greenhouse. No, unfortunately he didn't. And I'm having a really hard time getting my seeds started. You guys remember the video 2 weeks ago? My peppers are not coming up. I was going to take the lights out of here. Ooh, maybe I'll take that one over there that we're not using. I was going to take the lights out of here. Yeah, that one we're not using. Or is it burned out? Oh, maybe it's burned out. For a grow light, because I don't have any warm place to put the plants. And so my seedlings aren't coming up. So I'm very sad, but I'm going to keep trying. Barbara, I'm hooked on Dollar Tree stores. What are your thoughts on Dollar Tree? They have some cool stuff. Yeah, they have some cool stuff. Just don't go there and just buy and put it on your credit card. But I mean, I go to Dollar Tree all the time and get some of their cool stuff. So I don't have a problem with it. Kaylee's home. Just make sure you have business insurance or your car insurance policy when doing that. Yes. G.S. Thompson, I love watching you, Tara, not because I need the advice, but I feel good for the advice I do sometimes give. I hate people who have it together, but yet they still keep running into trouble. Yeah, and don't take advice from those people. Actually, I mean, I feel like a hypocrite telling you guys how to save money, and here we're back in debt again. Now, this wasn't an unavoidable emergency that we have been saving for, if something happens, and we have been prudent and frugal and all this. And I'll tell you, it was pretty discouraging because I'm like, I'm 50 years old. Well, we should be past this at this point of our life, but we're not. And so just have to let it go. Move on again. We all may be in heaven next week, so it's not going to really matter.
The way I look at it is we had an emergency fund, and it was sufficient for most emergencies, and I was crazy fast paying off the house. So I probably should have paid off the house a little less aggressively in retrospect, but
we didn't know.
So even though it's debt that at the moment, the way it looks like it will not end up being any interest related to that debt because and
we're doing as good as we can. I'm cutting back to the thrift store money no, I'm not.
What's that?
I said I'm cutting back on my thrift store money. I said, no, I'm not. Actually, I don't spend that much at the thrift store. I probably spend $20 a month at the thrift store, maybe that much. I don't even know if I spend that much.
Tara has this guilt about spending money at the thrift store, but she'll go there and she'll spend a very small amount of money, and then half the things she buys, she'll say, oh, this isn't going to work for me. So she puts it on Marketplace and sells it for 3 times what she paid for it. So I'm like, why are you feeling guilty? You're making money on this deal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. One says, I admit I do DoorDash. I don't have a car. Also do grocery delivery. Yeah, there you go. Bandana, when I was young and dumb, newlywed, I charged up Christmas presents for everyone in the family because I could afford $10 a month forever. I learned an important lesson. Yep. I know. The TV within 2 weeks, sewer line break, softball-sized hail damage to house and car, $700 deductible sewer line, $2,700 deductible for house paid before insurance will pay emergency fund. Yes, holy cow. I know. It's when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? Nancy, well, that's the way. In the midst of all this other emergency, then we had another emergency that we had to go deal with. And so we were flying down to Colorado and back in one day. And we were like, oh my goodness, we were so tired. But that's okay. So for those of you who don't know, we have 2 kids in Colorado and then 2 kids live with us. So they're adults, children. Nancy, I work with a woman who decided she wanted to go to college at 49 and borrowed it all. Oh my goodness. She taught in a 1A school and will never pay off her education. That ship sailed at 40. Oh, that is so sad.
Well, and actually, it's funny because I've had people say, well, so and so's using their college, and that's fine. I think that's good. I mean, because not very many, the majority of people don't use the degrees that they got. But sometimes, even if you're using your college, it's still not worth it because I knew somebody, I forgot who it was. She had like $200,000 in debt to get a master's in social work. And I was thinking, you're going to make $17,000, $19,000 a year. You're never going to pay that off. And I think social work is important, but there's got to be a way for them, if they really want you to help with that, there's got to be a way for them to be able to do it without you having to get a $200,000 degree. So yeah. I would always, I think with our kids, we've really expressed the cost benefit. Like, how much is it going to cost you? What do you want to do with it? Is that going to be a benefit to you? And I think that's really important because, when I went to college, everyone I knew just was going to college because that's what you do. And I did use the degree, but it never paid as much as it should have, the job I had from that degree. So
Connie says, when I opened my husband's cancer bill, it was close to $1 million. I seriously busted out laughing because it was so absurd.
Yeah, there's a point where you just think, nothing I could do. So.
Oh my goodness. I am sorry that I don't get political. Yes, I do. That Affordable Care Act was the biggest ripoff this country has ever had. Makes me so mad. Donna, tips and suggestions on curbing impulse spending. Stop it!
Go to YouTube and type in Bob Newhart, stop it.
Seriously, just stop it.
You'll love it. You'll get a great.
You don't have the cash. You can't afford it. Period. Don't buy it.
It helps, though.
No, we don't need explanation. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay. All right.
Good.
But it does help to avoid. It helps to have a spouse like this one. But also, it helps if you.
That's what we need to do. We need to sell a recording of me telling people, "Stop it! You cannot afford that," and sell it as a digital download for their phones every time they go to Amazon or Walmart or whatever shopping
app. It would be
app.
cool if we could build it into an app that's keeping track of their GPS, and when they get near the store.
Okay, Jack.
So,
Dave, whichever one of you, I don't know which one's doing the apps. But.
So, really, one of the biggest things is it's like quitting smoking. If you go to the place where you're accustomed to spending too much money, you're going to cave. So don't do it. If you go to, it's funny, if you don't want a dog and you go to the pet store to hold all the little puppies, guess what? You're going to walk home with a dog. You're going to come home with a dog. So in the same way, if you don't want to spend money, try to avoid the places that you would go to spend money. And I think that's probably the biggest. But in general, you just have to, I used to say, I really want this, and I think I'm going to wait till next week to buy it. And then next week, I think, well, do I really need it right now? Maybe I could wait another week. And I would just indefinitely postpone it until I realized I didn't really need that. And my brain just learned, all these things, if I get a random impulse, it doesn't mean I need to buy it. I mean, I wasn't a crazy shopper, but I did spend a lot more money than I had before I met Tara.
Monica, it's just she wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Yes, stop! Just don't get in the car and go anywhere.
So go to YouTube and type in Bob Newhart, stop it. After the show.
Laura says 2 cases of pint jars on sale today for $20, including delivery. I don't know if that's a good deal or not, because I think you can get them at the thrift store for $25 here. GS, I saved $1,700 last year on a new heating aircon system by paying cash. If you pay over time, charges are automatically built in. Yeah, exactly. Tanya, my car balance was $17,000. I paid it in 10 months. Very good.
Wow,
Nancy,
that's impressive.
she wasn't wanting thanks. She threw the tracking info away. She sometimes misses the live shows because of church. Not complaining about church shows. Yes. I wasn't sure if you had caught that, but yes, thank you. I cannot wait to be getting some lettuce. And I'm going to take those. Remember those big windows I got at the thrift store for $5 each? I'm going to put them on my raised beds. And I hope I'll have lettuce in a month, 6 weeks, instead of 3 or 4 months like we normally do. Jennifer says we sold our car and got $19,000 cash to pay off our debt, doing fine on one car. Yeah, 2 cars is not a necessity at all if one parent is staying home. And if you're a mom working and you could stay at home with your kids, are you just paying for your car and daycare? I mean, that's crazy.
It's funny that we did at some of that time have the pickup, which is not really a daily driver, but for the most part, we shared a car for like 5 years, and we just bought a second vehicle in October, December, something like that.
Yeah, our last car died. My car died in it's been longer than that. It was like 2017, 2018 when you smashed the van.
Yeah, then we bought the other one that you didn't like.
No,
That
when we
Camry.
smashed that van.
Huh?
Or the Camry. When we smashed that one. That was 2017.
No, we didn't smash that Camry. You just didn't like it because it was not what the guy agreed to it when he sold it to us.
The gray gold
The
one?
brown, yeah.
Well, what did we do? Yeah, we smashed that one.
No, we didn't smash it. It got hail damage. And
It
you're like,
was totaled. Yeah, it was totaled.
it got hail damage.
Okay, it was
yeah.
totaled. So that one was totaled though in 2017. So it's been 8 years. So 7 years because we got it because we got the 4Runner last year.
So we've been sharing a vehicle.
Now we've had the pickup, but the pickup is not a reliable car at all. So
I would occasionally drive it if there was something. We have since made some improvements to the pickup, but it's not a preferred daily driver.
Gina says, or Gianna, I don't know how you say that, has potatoes, peppers, and tomatoes already. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to see tomatoes till September probably. Well, maybe the end of August because I'm starting them tomorrow. So if I can get them to come up, but Walmart has grow lights for $20. Yeah, but I have free ones right here. I just need to take them off the ceiling. So I'll have my son help me with that tomorrow.
Letitia says she's so right. Try to enjoy what you already have. Yes.
Yeah.
Because most of us have so much anyway,
Yeah.
even though we don't necessarily realize it.
Jay No More says heat mats for starts aren't that much. No, but I have a heating pad that I could put under there too that I'm going to do too. So Emily says, I always think that's Ellie on here talking to us. This is why you do this series of videos, to open your lives to us, to show that when emergencies happen or when life happens, this is how you cope. And then you regroup and go forward. Yes. And let me tell you, we've had several people ask, well, what is this emergent? We don't tell you everything that goes on in our lives. First of all,
I tell you a lot.
and I've gotten a lot of criticism for this. But first of all, it's none of your darn tootin' business. But secondly, for those of you who are being critical, but secondly, for my children's safety and out of respect for my children and all of my children, adult and not adult, we don't need to be splattering everything that happens to everyone all the time. And I know that people have gotten used to that on YouTube with these family vloggers and stuff, but it's just not reasonable for us to share everything with everyone. And so we just don't.
We do appreciate the concern of those who are actually concerned.
Yes. And we greatly appreciate you guys praying for us. This has been a really long 6 weeks, the last 6 weeks. And we greatly appreciate your prayers and your concern. And for those of you who are like that, you're not the people we're talking about. We're talking about the people who just feel like because they've been watching us for so long, we owe them an explanation for everything. And we don't. I'm sorry. I don't walk into someone else's house and expect them to start telling every single thing that's going on in their life. So, and
we do share a lot,
yeah,
but a lot of times we don't share things because other people don't want to be involved.
Yeah. Vicky, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs just announced $1 million trade school scholarship on Fox News the other day. Wow. Emily, you show us how to be proactive instead of reactive. Be prepared. Yep.
Yay.
Rebecca says, make a stop it button. Yeah. Finding a way. Good mechanics are in high demand. Yes. As a matter of fact, my one son is a really good mechanic.
He's really good at so many things.
And he was talking about possibly doing that to earn some side income too. Nancy, is that a person talking? Oh, never mind. Okay. Find a Nancy. There are community and junior colleges, also tech schools. Parents are responsible for explaining basic finance to the kids. Problem is, too many adults are living day to day. Yep.
Well, and a lot of adults aren't controlling themselves, so they don't want to teach their kids because then they feel like they'll have to be responsible themselves.
Yeah. And Sanguine Link says, make it a ringtone. Oh, that would be so funny to go to Walmart on a Saturday or Sunday and have you call me like every
Stop it
3 minutes when I'm walking down the aisle.
Stop it.
That would be funny. Oh my goodness. Somebody might punch me in the nose if I did that. Nancy, I have one piece of advice. Please make sure you pay for homeowners renters insurance. We've had some better weather. I read where two of the people that had trees fall on their home had no insurance. Oh, yes, please. People pay for your insurance. And I know there's places like Florida that aren't letting people get insurance. For some carriers aren't giving it to people. So if you have that, you're going to have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in the bank to cover that if your house gets whacked. So Wanda says canning jars go for $2 at our thrift stores. Oh, well then, yeah, that might be a good deal. Good grief. Nancy, in the olden days, I stayed home with my toddler and babysat another little boy. My babysitting money was a down payment on our first very small, simple house. Very good. Susan, make your tomatoes in a gallon jug greenhouse. Yes, actually what I'm going to do is I have my big windows, and did I show you guys the bales of soil I got for really super cheap last year? I don't know. It was $2. Were they $2, I think, a bag? And I've got like right here behind us. I have, how many did I get? 40 of them? I think I got 40 of them.
Of what again?
The soil. So I'm going to build those up, and I'm going to put
cheap that day.
And I'm going to put my window on top. And I'm going to make me some mini greenhouses is what I'm going to do. Finding a way. Yep. None of our darn tootin' business. Yeah. And it's not, I know some of you say it out of concern and are just trying to know how to pray. And we truly appreciate that. But there are some people, like one lady was just like, well, you shouldn't mention it at all if you're not going to tell us what it is. And I'm like, I can say we're having a hard time. We could use some prayers without having to tell you all of our business. So, it's like,
well,
anyway.
And sometimes it's an issue that causes optics, like we're gone for 2 weeks from the show, that we kind of feel like there should be some sort of explanation that we're gone. But when other people are involved and they don't really want to be part of the channel, then we need to be respectful of that. And that's really, we don't have to share anything, but over the years we share almost everything, but a few big things that have involved other people we have not shared. And some of you have been around to remember some big things from way back, but yeah. So anyway, there's only this one. Rebecca said, we're working on paying off debt. When we pay off my car, I want to put more towards debt. Should I be saving more than $50 a month instead of paying off debt?
So before you pay off your debt, at least have, Dave Ramsey says $1,000. I think you should have at least $2,000 now, because any appliance, pretty much, if your refrigerator poops out on you, you're going to need $2,000 to buy a new refrigerator. So I would say get $2,000 in your savings first before you start paying off your debt. Then go ahead and start paying off your debt.
Actually, a lot of people saying things like, Nancy, our preacher said that people don't have to give him all the details when they ask for prayer. He says he'll pray and God will know what it's about. It's true, because the Bible says that God knows what you need before you ask. He still wants you to ask, though. But you're totally right. People don't have to know everything in order to pray for other people. So did you want to ask about the questions?
Well,
or no? You don't have to.
Has anybody responded? I don't think anybody really cares. So, because I haven't gotten one response today.
Okay.
Well, I got one response, and I'll answer that question right now. But we've been going back and forth. So I've been thinking about going back to our original Living on a Dime, where we do tips and just do tips again. But I was noticing that talk show type videos where people answer questions and people call in and the host answers their questions, those actually have way more view time, that people really like those. So I was trying to decide, do we do talk show type videos or do we just do tip videos? But today, when I asked on our community tab, I only had one question. On the community tab, I told people to email us and they didn't. So I was curious, would you guys be interested in talk show type thing like our live shows? Or do you like Q&A, or what do you call it? Like tip compilation type videos, like how to get rid of your bacon grease, stuff like that. And so the one question I did get today was, she wants to start a container garden. My black thumb has increased to a black hand. How do I know when it's time to water? I either water too much or not enough. I tried 2 years ago and didn't get one fruit with squash, tomato, and bell peppers. The ones that lived were green, just no produce. I did fertilize every 2 weeks. So here's the problem. The problem is you were fertilizing with the wrong kind of fertilizer too much. So you should have been fertilizing with a flower, because you want the flowers to produce fertilizer, not just a regular all-purpose fertilizer. The other thing is, if you don't live in a windy area, you have to kind of whack the plants to get the pollen to move around if the bees aren't going to be pollinating enough. So like my tomatoes, I'll just go in and just swipe my hand along them so that the pollen falls and moves around.
Yeah, but some places on farms, they would take like a little broom and just walk along and broom everything as they go.
The other thing is I either water too much or not enough. So if you have drainage holes in the bottom of your pots, you shouldn't be overwatering at all. And how you should water is to water and let it go through. And then when you see it dry, like here in Wyoming, it's every day, but maybe if you're in Pennsylvania, it'll be every 3 or 4 days. Then go put your finger in the soil. And if you feel it's dry, then go ahead and water again. But here's what I would say. If you have a black thumb, why are you trying to garden? Just don't garden. I mean, I say this all the time, and people keep insisting on trying to have a garden when they have a black thumb. And I'm like, why? Fruits and vegetables are cheap enough here in the United States that you really don't need to have a garden. Did I just lose 3/4 of the... If you want to have a garden and you enjoy gardening like I do, I have the problem. I'm not exaggerating. Yesterday, I cleaned out one of my freezers and moved it to the big freezer. And I threw away a whole bunch of garden produce. Why? I don't want to eat it. I don't know what it is with me. I don't like dealing with garden produce. I don't like freezing it. I don't like canning it. I don't like dehydrating it. I don't like doing any of that. So I'm like, why am I doing this? So I have the bit problem where I really enjoy growing it and I'm good at growing it. But what do I do with all this produce? I literally just throw it away. So, because, here in August and September and October, people are just leaving produce, whoever will take it. And I give it only so much, but like, we don't know that many people here. Maybe this year we'll have more people that we might be able to give it to, but I just don't. So, hello, Mary. Guys, our cookbooks are 25% off right now. Go grab them. They are easy recipes with ingredients you already have. Get you in and out of the kitchen quick. Mary was talking me off the ledge today. It was so nice.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
I appreciate you talking me off the ledge.
I appreciate that more than Tara does.
So anyway, so we were trying to decide if we should do like Q&A videos or just like tip compilations, that kind of thing. I don't know what we're going to do for videos. Probably go with the tip stuff, I guess. But Charlotte says 10 years ago, my husband had a car wreck, which disabled him. And a year later, he had stage 4 cancer. His medical bills totaled about $1 million, and we had to pay $10,000 out of pocket. Wow, that's great.
A lot of people are saying,
not that he got hurt, but just,
yeah. A lot of people are saying both. And I think because both appeal to the same kind of people, it would work. But the issue that we were wondering about is, would people actually call in? Or would people just want to listen to other people calling in? Because I think what Tara was thinking is, we've got what we do here, but call in a little bit more devoted to a particular person's individual question in a sort of like our version of a show like Dave Ramsey would do, where he's got that. So they call in, somebody talks to them for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they go to another person who talks to them for 5 or 10 minutes. Right. Whereas here, we kind of start with a topic, and then Tara a lot of times only spends 30 seconds or a minute on an answer. So that's kind of what we were thinking, but it would require that people actually want to call in. So that's what I think we were trying to figure out. So,
well, and like I'm going through the comments now, and everybody says they want a Q&A show, but when I asked for specific questions to be emailed to me, nobody answered.
Could be like Dick Loudon's show on Vermont Today. Well, hello. So we'll have a caller then. I used to do a lot of call-in shows when I was in TV, and one show the phone line was down. So the host had, because of a technical error from one of the people on the crew, and so for the whole hour, the host had to just kind of improvise because he had expected to be answering questions. That was the Sunflower Gardener, for those of you in Wichita.
I forgot about that show.
Yeah. And the host was not happy to have no phones that whole time. So actually I had the people in the control room, like just writing random questions and sending them to him. It was pretty funny. I was the director that day. So
Diane says nothing better than a ripe garden fresh tomato and mayo sandwich. Yes, except that when you're the only one who eats tomatoes in your family, I mean, I can give some to mom, but she's not going to eat, that much. So, yeah.
Did we take some to the school, or is that just the baked goods?
Yeah. Last year I was taking them to school, taking them to the Restore. I was taking them to the post office. The poor mail lady was probably overwhelmed with squash and tomatoes. I like to grow the stuff. So I just look at it this way. I'll grow the stuff, give it away, and hopefully when the zombie apocalypse comes, they'll remember me and help me out if we're not prepared with something. Nancy says, we don't need the stress of a call-in show. Well, they would all be pre-screened, but yeah.
Well, and I have a lot of experience doing the background on call-in shows. I think that would help us know what things to expect to go wrong and be able to handle that.
Yeah. Castle Dove says, why don't you put your posts at the end of the driveway and have an honor system? Because we don't live on a street that has traffic. So that wouldn't really do me any good. And Vicky says, can cooked tomatoes for spaghetti sauce and cook tomatoes for spaghetti sauce and can it. So first of all, I don't do canning. And second of all, we don't eat spaghetti sauce. Hardly ever. Jack's the only one who eats spaghetti sauce. So yeah. Mama B says, when you homeschooled your younger kids, what curriculum did you use? So we first tried the K-12 program through the public school. Then we tried our own books, and we had a mishmash of Bob Jones and
We use
the
some
grammar
Rebecca.
book and a few of Becca. And then with number, then they went to a charter school. And then we had University Liberty. Was it Liberty that Dave graduated from? College classes for Dave through Liberty and
no,
Bob
it wasn't
Jones.
Liberty. It was I forgot what it was called. It's the same curriculum that most of the colleges use. They changed their name to something else after we had it. I forgot what it was called. Actually, I wonder if I still have any documents about it that I would be able to look at real quick here.
Teresa says, can the veggies and give out for Christmas or birthdays. I don't have enough people that I could give canned goods to, but it's fine. I just grow it, and the deer have a nice, I keep the deer fat for when we need to shoot them. How old are we? We are in our early 50s. I think that's the first time I've ever said that.
And next week is the 30th anniversary of the day we met.
Oh.
Thus, the gift that Tara will probably show you next week that I made as part of another thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can't find it. I can't believe Pearson Accelerated is what it's called now. It used to be called Lumerit. That's what we did with Dave after. What happened is he got done with all of his regular homeschool and was a year younger than the minimum that we would think is good for graduating, because it kind of was a problem for one of our other kids when we graduated too early. So we had him do online college classes through Lumerit, which is like 25 to 30% of the cost of regular college for the tuition. And then other things are even less expensive. And now it's called Pearson Accelerated. And I would say if I had a kid that really wanted to go to college, I would say, man, do as much as you can on there first, because it transfers to pretty much all the colleges in the country. And then you only have to go the last year to an in-person college, which would cost a lot more. So
Heather says, thoughts for paying for a babysitter for husband and I to go to church service together / date. We have no debt, but still owe on house. What did you do for dates when your kids were young? We just did not go on any. We do taco dates now, but until our kids were old enough to stay home by themselves, we just didn't. Now, once a year, mom might watch the kids for us to go for our anniversary, but we just didn't. And quite frankly, we didn't even know anybody well enough to have as babysitters. And so really, you got to be really careful now, because people are not careful with your kids like you are. So
one thing I would say on that is, if you have no debt except your house, and if you're comfortably okay in your finances and you're paying and you're trying to pay off the house, it probably wouldn't hurt to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
If you trusted
I'm
the
okay.
person.
Yeah. If you know the person.
From the financial point of view.
Yeah.
Like in our case, we were always really, really tight on the budget back then, which is why we just didn't go.
We didn't have a budget. We didn't have a babysitter. And at the time, our older kids, for various reasons, were not able to take care of the younger kids for us. And so we just were never able to do it until just a few years ago. So yeah, but no, we don't eat spaghetti sauce at our house. So yeah. And Elizabeth, I was giving fruits and vegetables to church and all that. I do not do the food banks. I am like almost totally against food banks, but yes, we gave it to elderly. I mean, just anybody we were giving it to neighbors and all that. But yeah. Jill says, my hubby and I celebrate our 30th. Our wedding cost $50, eloped at the courthouse. There you go.
Wow.
Went back to work that afternoon.
Oh man.
Yeah. Judy, take them with you and go to the park, and then ice cream. And with Tara, we just never went. Yeah. And it's like we never allowed our kids to do sleepovers. I did not know their parents and family well enough. And even if I did, I would still not allow it because I don't know who the parents are and not who the relatives are. So like if it's a birthday party or something, I don't know what relatives are coming over to their house. So my kids have never done a sleepover unless it was like with school where Mike was there supervising. But yeah, we didn't do that.
Well, and
So.
sometimes even when the family is okay, they have some extended family member or friend that comes over, and we've just found there have been too many problems with those situations. I think did Jack ever stay with anyone when he was older?
Well, so
when they're old enough to leave on their own, it might not be as.
So about 5 years ago, Jack would have been 9, and we did start leaving him with Dave then. But we had other problems with BJ and Ellie. Not that we didn't trust them with them, but we had other stuff going on. And so we didn't have a babysitter, you know. The only babysitting we got was if I would go to the doctor or one of the kids needed to go to the doctor, then mom would help with that. But, you know, we didn't just have like grandparents just able to come over and all that. So it just, your children's friends, siblings. Yeah, I didn't know who they were and all that. So,
well, and there was a sibling of when our oldest was like 7 or something, he was over at some people's house for a birthday party, and the friend's 15-year-old sister and 2 of her other high school friends were
really bullying him,
tormenting him.
Yeah. And the parents didn't do anything
at their house when he was 7.
So our kids never went to a birthday party alone ever.
And that one, it was one of those things like, hey, well, you know, if you want to just come back at whatever time, and it was like an hour later. So I was like, well, it seems okay. So, okay. And then after that, we thought this is never going to happen again.
No.
And there have been other times where we were aware of things that happened with other people like that.
Too many kids have been molested and harmed by uncles and older siblings and dads. And
these days people have, I mean, I don't know. I guess people had secrets all the time in the past, but I think now there are so many situations where people have some secret thing happening and you can't tell. They don't look like the kind of people that you would think would be doing that, but they are. And so we would have to know somebody extremely well, and typically the kids would have to be old enough to leave on their own. Because there was a point when I can't remember which of the kids was a young teenager. Where like if you run into a problem in some situation, it was somewhere. It's like, you know, you can leave and call us. Oh, it was family actually that they were with. You can leave and call us and we will come get you. So, yeah.
But we didn't have grandparents other than my mom that we could trust or just leave them with or anything like that. So, and like I said, mom helped out when we had doctor's appointments and stuff. So she didn't really have the energy to let us go on dates or anything like that.
Although one thing about sleepovers, we did sometimes have kids over at our place, didn't we?
Not for sleepovers.
Never? Oh, okay. What about Dave's couple of friends? Or Jack's couple of friends?
Well, Jack, yeah, but he was like 10. Or like, they came here. They're all older now, but yeah. But not when they were younger. So, guys, our cookbooks are 25% off right now. If you need a free Bible, please go to livingonadime.com and we will send Bibles if you can't afford one. If you can't afford one, please feel free to go ahead and buy one. It's just our costs, but some people ask to buy them. So we offer that. And
To get them free, you have to use the coupon code, but it's
Yeah.
printed right on the page where you order.
and it is one per person. If you are a ministry or something and you need Bibles, go ahead and email us. But we are very firm on that. And
Well, what we're firm on is sometimes people will create
fake,
5 different fake
yeah.
accounts to get a free one on each one. And sometimes if a person just says, hey, I really need 5 because this and I can't afford it for whatever reason, we usually work with people. But if I discover that there's 5 fake accounts, I don't send any of them.
Yeah. So
Because,
guys, don't do the fake accounts.
well,
We just won't
especially
send
since
them.
we have had a couple people that people were stalking them and sending them Bibles, and one of them, law enforcement, was involved. And I was thinking, it's really not a good witness to people to send them Bibles if you know they're not going to respond well and it's anonymous. And so we just ask that you don't send anonymous Bibles to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some major problems with police being involved with people doing that. And so, guys, you're not hidden on the internet. You can think you're hidden, but you're not hidden. Believe me. So there are people who will think they're trying to get around the system.
So if you need one, ask. And if you want to, if there's some group of something that you want, send us an email telling us what the scoop is and we'll work with you.
Heather says, we received a free Bible and it's what our son uses for our weekday Bible studies and he really loves it. Thank you. You are
Yay.
welcome. That is great. I'm so glad. All right, guys, visit us livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Bye.